Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Tanya, perfect. Waiting. See, we got Sarah.
Yep, I can hear you.
Perfect. And Jesse, did you get your mic set up there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect. I'm gonna see if we get Justin's mic set up. All right, I'm gonna mute you all for now. Okay, while we're waiting for Justin to get his mic here, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Can everybody see my screen? If you can't, let me know or I'll take your silence as everyone can see the ramp registration training. Perfect. I'm going to go over a couple little rules here to make this nice and effective meeting for tonight. Show you there. So if you see my screen, just a little bit of the information on how we're going to flow. We're going to do a quick little presentation of the training on how, oh, I got Fort Capel just waiting here. Let me let them in. There we go. We're going to do a quick training presentation that's going to take about 30 minutes total. After that, we'll have 30 minutes of questions and working through a couple of things that you guys might want to go through. I'll ask you that during that time, though, of the 30 minutes of that Justin does on the training, I will have everybody muted. And with that, it's just going to let him go through everything. You can write down your questions. And when he is done at the end of training, we're going to go through the group. If you have a question, you can raise your hand, as you can see here on the diagram on how that works, to raise your hand. If you don't want to write it down, but want to put it into the chat box, and once he's done the training, I can go through all the chat box questions and we can answer them in order. And once we've gone through everybody, or the 30 minutes remaining time finishes up, we'll wrap up for the evening, and I will post this video on our YouTube channel and share it on our Facebook pages and also on our website for us to look at. So all I ask from your end is to make sure that you are free from any background noises so that when you do get unmuted, it doesn't make the communication too hard for us to hear. And if you have any questions after today that you think of, you just feel free to email them over to me and I can get you in connection with Justin. So what I'll do now is stop sharing this screen here. Make sure we're all muted. Perfect, perfect. And I will pass the controls over to Justin. So just bear with me for 1 minute here. Okay, Justin, do you have the ability to take over sharing?
Yeah, just give me 1 second here.
Okay.
Okay, so you should all be able to see my screen.
Yeah, and sorry, Justin, one thing I forgot to say, I think I might have just passed over it real quick, but we are recording this webinar just so everybody is aware. Go ahead, Justin.
Well, I apologize ahead of time, whoever has to listen to my voice for the second time. I hate hearing myself on recording, so I'm sorry. My name is Justin. I'm the support manager over at Ramp Interactive. If you call into the office, you'll get me or a couple of the support agents. And otherwise, yeah, let's chat about registration. Eden, did you have any usually ask the public, but any model example clubs that I should use as my example?
You can probably pick any of them that look like they haven't started in it yet. Like Valkyris is over there.
Yeah. Anyone that I can delete, I can see that they've never done a registration, so, or as of yet at least. So yeah, I'll hop into Belcara. And let's see if they're a good example. Yeah, so they've never set up a season, so that I can see that they haven't set up yet. Okay, so first of all, this is the back end. As a note, everyone asks, mine is orange because I've made it orange, just so that I can visually tell the difference between it and the registration system. Sorry, website. This is the dashboard page. This is where you put a bunch of additions to the system, additions, changes, what have you. And there's also a giant global YouTube video right here. But if you actually go to nearly any of our pages in the back end, for example, if I were to go to the season page, you will see an accordion at the top of the page right here, where you can pull down and you can see some videos. So this is an oddity. There's usually only one video, but this is really that same video. It's keyframed to the portion of the video that's talking about seasons, volunteers, and a in detail age cutoff explanation. So first of all, I'm going to quickly go over settings. The settings itself, this is majority just your emails and your signatures. You can also enter, this is for future use, doesn't actually do anything. These putting your Facebook and Instagram and what have you in there right now. Second of all, you can create more administrators. Just quickly go over the different kinds of administrators. You have a club admin, which essentially is your full admin. Actually, I'm going to take one step back. There is a main administrator. That's the login that we would have sent out to you. If any of you have not received that, let me know at the end of this call or send an email into Eden or support at Ramp Interactive and we can send that out again. But yeah, so every account has a main administrator. This main administrator cannot be deleted. If I go to, if I go to add a new one, there is a club administrator. This is essentially the same privileges as that main administrator. The only difference is this one can be deleted and the other one can't, but they're essentially same privileges. Now, if you get this administrator and divide it in half, you have basically this transaction admin or division admin. They're kind of opposite. Transaction admin can see, transactions. They can process transactions. They can process refunds, all that sort of stuff. They cannot see what team you're on. They cannot put somebody on a team. They can send emails, but just based on those transactions. Division, kind of the opposite. They have no ability to see any financial ability or financial status of any players, but they can put people on teams and send emails out. And on a division admin, you do not have to give them all the admins or all the divisions. You could just give them, U10 through U18, and give somebody else the other one. And then quickly you have package admin. So under one division, let's say you had 2 packages, you could give somebody access to, all the earlier packages or something like that. Volunteer admin, they have the ability to see, and manage the volunteering aspect, and mail admin, believe it or not, can send emails. Otherwise, everything under settings is generally, some pretty, sorry, I'm not thinking of the word in my brain. Advanced stuff, I guess, so I'll just kind of leave that up for the time being. Refund policy, of course, it's where you put your refund policy. Positions and official levels, those are all added by Sask Soccer. So you can view what Sask Soccer has added for that, but you can't add. You do have the ability to add, but this would be only to seasons you create. So I'm just going to skip right over to seasons. So really, I'm just going to quickly go over the base setup. So the 2 things you have to do to turn on your season and create packages. So the season is not turned on, so we will go and we'll turn it on. So, and this is also always in the video and also the email that would have been sent out. So quickly, first of all, we have the age cutoff date as set by SAS Soccer. So this is the date that our system will check your age. So if you are the U10 division, it's going to say, okay, this kid is, he's 11 now, or he's 10 now, but he was 9 on that date. His birthday was in January. He would be able to register in that division. You can also set, add a description. This shows up on the front end for the registrants. Website sync. That's it. This will allow you to synchronize your rosters and teams with your website, should you have a RAMP website. That's a whole different conversation itself, so keep on going. You can hide the season just so it doesn't show up in the back end in your reports. I don't know why you do that for the time being. And you can also enable different kinds of registrations. So you have team registration. The best example of this, there's team registration and there's tournament registration. They're essentially the same thing, but they kind of opposite. They work differently. Team registration will send an email to everybody on the team to register. Tournament registration, you don't really care if all the kids register themselves. This is simply just get those players in there. Actually, the rosters are optional. You also have staff registration, official registration, executive registration. If ever you turn on one of these, you have to put an end date, and nothing can go past the date set by SAS Soccer. You can also allow your staff and officials to upload CRCs, or you can actually do our online CRC, which is through Triton. Two options there. Either we can bill the staff on the front end, or we can bill you, the association, on this criminal record check. It is $25 plus tax, and is actually immediate during the registration. You say, yes, I want to do that, or no. And then right after the registration, it asks you 2 or 3 questions, and you have a criminal record check. I guess I should say 95% of people will get done in a couple minutes. Some will have follow-up questions. You can also limit users to only register once per season. I suggest that, but there are some uses for it, I guess. Package options. So this is totally optional. You do not have to create these, check these off. If you are doing staff registration, you don't have to create a staff package. But if you do create a staff package, you can allow them to not have to check that package. But again, you do not have to create a package for staff unless you're charging the staff. Just kind of adds an extra step to the registration. Volunteering, there's a whole detailed part of the video about volunteering. So I would say I'll kind of just really quickly go over it right now. So volunteering family points. This is on the front end. You can add you can ask them, hey, do you want to volunteer? If they say yes, you give them a list of jobs. If they say no, you can ask for a volunteer opt-out fee. So these are the family maximums. So you could say it's a $100 opt-out to a $200 per family maximum. And volunteer points would be, you can say volunteering as a head coach is 25 points. Every division, you have a family maximum of 50 points or 25 or whatever. The only thing you really actually have to do in this page is a payment setting. So you have you can remove the promo codes. If you don't do promo codes, you can stop people from asking you, hey, what's the promo code? By just removing that promo code field. And then below here, you have all of your payment options: check, cash, credit card, offline credit, vouchers, e-transfer, Kidsport. Vouchers, actually, the good examples of vouchers are Kidsport and Jumpstart. They're basically just ways for your system to your users to say, hey, that's how I'm paying, essentially. There is credit card here and offline credit card. If you do not have a merchant account yet, you have the option of turning on offline credit card, and then on the front end, it'll ask for their credit card information. To them, it'll look like you have a merchant account, and then 1 week later, when that merchant account is completed, it takes about 2 weeks as a whole, you can process those credit cards. With a push of a button by going to transactions, by batch run offline. Otherwise, you have a couple of options that are hard coded on for Sask Soccer. Cannot turn off RIS or NCCP numbers, and then kind of a bunch of options as to what you want your players to do. So if you require them to give you a photo or birth certificate or proof of residency or treaty cards, you can do that. The rest of that, a bunch of success messages. These are, it'll appear after they register. Hey, thanks for registering. Success email shows up in the email that gets sent out from our system. But again, all you really have to do here is check off a payment type. So let's check off cash and credit card offline. So that's kind of step one. And if I look at this status now, it is okay. Otherwise, here you can create promo codes. Definitely another feature in the system. Actually, before doing this, I should really stress, very, very important, do not create your own Sask Soccer season. Any season you create will not flow up to Sask Soccer. So don't create your own season for Sask Soccer. If you do, you'll just have to, well, first of all, you won't be signing the waivers. It just makes a whole mess of the system, so don't do it. A whole bunch of work to fix it.
I guess I'm just going to add a quick thing in there. So a couple important things to note that when you are setting up your season, if you forget to set up your season and you create some packages, or you think you're all done and you go to test your registration and nothing is showing up, that is probably because your season isn't turned on. Or if it is a team personnel registration, or you're trying to register a referee, or you're trying to open up an executive registration, that means you just have to go back into your season and double check if you've enabled those things in that system, which Justin's showing you that edit button right there. That's one of my main questions that I get, that they created packages or something for an individual and they can't see them, and that could be because they haven't actually enabled it at that time. So if you have gone into your system and you've done everything and you don't see anything showing up, just make sure that your season is set to OK and it is green and ready to go. Sometimes what happens is if you're setting up your credit card information or your e-transfer or anything in the back end here, and you accidentally just deactivate your season for a moment, it will take down all your stuff, and it sometimes causes some panic. So your first thing to always do is just check to make sure your season is active, then make sure you have all of your stuff enabled, then you should be good to go. Back to you there, Justin.
Perfect. Okay. So really the only other thing you have to do is packages. So I'll just kind of quickly go over that, and then I'll talk about divisions afterwards. So packages, you go here, and you go to add a new record. So a lot of divisions here. You choose which division you want. Optionally, if your packages, if you have a bunch of divisions that are the same price, you could go and create, a whole bunch of divisions at the same time. Just check them all off. All that's really required here is registration. Okay, so registration, you can add a description. You can set dates of when the front end people will be able to register. This is probably the other biggest one as to why people can't register, is they put the actual season dates in here, not the registration dates. Although they're optional, you don't have to put anything in there. Also, if you only have one package, you don't have to make it required, because you cannot continue unless you choose the one package. So otherwise, you can get fancy. You can require a password. If you're doing credit card plans or credit card payments, you could do, installment plans. Although soccer is pretty cheap, so probably not going to do that too much. But Let's just set that to 100. And so essentially, you're live. If I was to go to the front end right now, oh, by the way, your front end link is up here. So if I was to go and I was to register, I can register. That's the only, all you really have to do is turn on your season and have a package open. Couple ways to turn off your package. You could always put an end date. You could also click on this X to turn off the package. The second that somebody registers in this package, you will no longer be able to delete this package. Okay, so otherwise, let's talk about, oh, sorry, Aiden, anything you want to add to about seasons? Sorry, packages.
With the packages things, really, if Justin's going to go into the division portion here, that's going to show us how to eliminate some of those divisions from showing up. And also, if some of you have the questions about the age ranges, where he did show that there is within the divisions that they're set by your provincial, so your PSO, which is Saskatchewan Soccer. When he goes into here, he is going to show you how to override those age ranges so you can set them to be what you would like them to be within your own division. But also please note that SSA in the age divisions sets them as a range of a minimum of 0 years old and a maximum of 0 years old. So there are no ages in there, but we do set the date cutoff, which is December 31st. But I'll leave the rest to him to show you what I'm talking about with how you can override your system and set the age ranges if you want to. And for the divisions, you're not required to use that many divisions. If you are one rural organization or a smaller club that just needs all of the kids to register as a youth registration, if you wanted to pick everything and call it youth registration, all of them can register into the youth division. Or if you only offer mini and youth registration, feel free to use that. The divisions are just kind of like a prereq that we have to put into the system, but you're not required to offer your functions or your leagues or your drop-ins or any other thing that you're offering registration for under those exact divisions. So they're very flexible. That I just pre-name them all for you. I'll leave it over to you now, Justin.
Perfect. Okay, so Sask Soccer, as Ian mentioned, has given you the ability to offset those age ranges, or set some age ranges essentially. So to do that, let's say, you are, because you might do, U8, U10, U12, so you allow 2 people in, 2 ages in, or just you have U9 as well. So you could say, we do from 8 to 10 years old. And again, it'll check your birth date on check the kid's age on December 31st, 2019. So if you just do this and do not check off the block, it'll kind of give a message saying, hey, you are the wrong age. This is the age range that you should be, but it will allow them through, or you can actually block it. Also, as a note, this is probably one of the biggest questions I get, or issues I get, is this age range informational message. This shows up no matter what. So this is the wrong place to put, you're the wrong age, because even if you are the right age, you will get this message. This is just an informational message. It shows up whether you're in the right age or you're not. And then otherwise, you have the ability to restrict. So let's say, because staff, staff will give them all these divisions. So let's say you use U10, you don't use U10 boys, U10 girls, you can go ahead and restrict. See, no staff and no team will ever be able to check this division. Additionally, you can add waivers to the system. Sask Soccer has added a bunch. You can see where they've added the waivers. So they have a couple player ones, 3 staff ones, 2 official, and an executive one. You can always add your own. That being said, Sask Soccer their waivers will always show up. Same with questions. They have their list of questions. You can also add your own questions. Do you live in the Balcarres area? I don't know what you're going to ask, but you can add your own questions. But again, Sask Soccer has also added their own.
Hey, Justin, with the questions one, a nice feature that you're able to do with it as well is you can add questions that are specific to packages. Would you be able to show them one of those? How you assign it to a division and or to a package? So if you specifically want to know how many U5s want to play on the same team with their other friends in the same age group, you can set that by only asking that question to the U5 package or to the U5 division or both. So the questions can be specified to wherever you would like them to be asked, or you can keep it all checked off where the questions are asked to everybody. So that's what Justin is just showing you over there. And also when he was going through those divisions on the right-hand side, what he was showing you with the checkbox, you don't need to go over to it, I'll just say it. Okay. When the divisions underneath the packages, or sorry, when he was editing the divisions on the right-hand side and it said players, staff, and I believe the last one was team, what that was allowing you was to hide those divisions. So if you don't want all of these divisions to show up, you'll need to go through, edit them, and turn that checkbox all off, and then they won't show up on your registration form or your team personnel and everything else. Go ahead, Justin.
Perfect. Also, you have a bunch of different kinds of questions you can add, one of them being a drop-down list. Just going to quickly show you one thing about that. Sorry, I'm just going to shrink this accordion for a second. And there we go. So you have these questions here. So if you do a drop-down, hey, has your address changed? You could, give two answers, yes, or you could say, answer no. But importantly, if you say yes, your address has changed, you could actually have an email somebody specific to gather that data. That's kind of all stuff with transactions. Maybe I'll choose an association that has some registrations. There. Alan has one. So we're go to their. Nope, that's a bad example. Anyway, here you would see all the transactions. Any offline transaction, you can edit, you can delete. Any credit card transaction, all you can do is you can refund. You do not have to refund the entire transaction. You can refund partial transactions. So if you, charge $500, you could refund $450, saving some sort of a fee. Who's done some? Okay, Hollandia has to have done some registrations. There it is. Okay, so this is what it would look like. So if you go to transactions, you have all your athletes here. These people did a bunch of payment plans, so you can see there's some pending payments. But most of all, well, they have a lot of transactions here. There it is. So if I wanted to refund $100 out of this amount, you just go here, you say, I want to do $100. You could even put a note. Of course, I won't do that. And then otherwise, if I actually click on the person's name, I can go in and send receipts. So this is how to print receipts in the system. You can also click on this send email button. You can also send a specific email to just this user. I guess, well, while I'm in here, let's say this person wanted to move from one division to another. You can go and you could edit. I mean, this would change if I were to save it, so I'm not going to. But you can move this person from U13 boys to U12 boys. This does not change the package. You'd still be in the U13 boys package. So if you also want to change the package, you'd have to do that separately. It's kind of all I can think about in this area. I guess you can look at the age check if you want to see if who is in violation of your age rules if you've added some age min-maxes. And I guess I'll finish up by chatting a bit more about Paystone. So in the original paperwork from SaskStalker, Paystone was called POS West. The same people worked there, minus actually Kathy, who was the original representative there, has moved on, but the rest of the team, Peter and Shannon and Crystal, they're all still over there. All in all, it's about a 2-week setup, start to finish, as long as everybody's ducks are in a row. It always works the best if I make that introduction, introducing you to Paystone. And then afterwards, you send paperwork to each other. As a note, you usually get the approval email from Paystone before I do. Actually, I don't receive an email from Paystone at all. I receive an email from Bambora. So Paystone is the merchant account provider. Bambora is essentially the merchant account program. They're the merchant account, essentially. So I get an email from Bambora. I do a couple of steps. I send it off again to be made live. They make it live. I do a $1 test transaction. I send you the login and password for the Bambora account, which is, it allows you to, I can't think of the word. Look, comparing the two systems, reconcile, I guess. You can look at the batches because, if you did 10 transactions in a day, it'll dump that in your bank account every day or so as a lump sum, and you can see which things belong to which batches. But yeah, that is all automatically turned on by me at Ramp. I am actually the one who deals with those at Ramp. You don't have to turn on your merchant account. It is just turned on when I go to test it out. Otherwise, yeah, that's kind of the Paystone setup, I guess.
Perfect. Thanks, Justin. So,
oh, and email. Also email. You can post emails. Of course, you can't send an email to anybody that's not in the system right now. I guess you could paste it into other email addresses, but check off your divisions and choose who you want to send it off to. So you have players, staff, guardians, and officials. If you want to send an email to, if we're talking like, let's say we have 6-year-old, the player email is going to be the same as the parent and guardian. They do get one email. And if the family has 5 people, one in U6, one in U8, one in U10, they again just get one email. It doesn't send them 5. And that's it. Now I'm done.
Are you passing it over to me? Sorry, it was muffled for 1 sec. Are you still there, Justin?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's all right. So everyone, just to touch back on when Justin was talking about Paystone over there, that is that system if you do want to receive online payments, so credit card payments done through Ramp. The system that they use is called Paystone, and the information for the contact to get that set up, you all would have seen initially with the setup instructions. But again, after today, if you need some further assistance, please just let me or Justin know, and we can walk you through that process. Now, I'm just going to check with Justin to see if he has anything else to go over at this moment. If not, we'll get prepared to open it up for questions. And we're going to start with Fort Capel first, once we do get into there, and I'll mute you one at a time.
I did think of one quick. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I thought of one thing to talk about the Paystone. So in the end, our system, we're not the merchant account provider. There is it's Paystone. 2.2% is kind of roughly the charge. There's also a monthly fee as well as a 10 cents per transaction fee. But it might be a little different than 2.2% depending on the amount of basic credit cards compared to like gold, platinum, super credit cards. But the highest I've seen was like 2.3 something, and I've seen 2.1 something. So 2.2 is your nice happy average. And the only other thing I was going to say is, if I go to seasons, you can actually set your, you can offset, you can add a credit card administration fee. So you can say 2.2% or 2.5%. I'm going to add to anybody paying by credit card. Now I'm done.
Good. All right. Okay.
Okay,
So
question time. Okay.
no, you're fine. I'm going to open it up to Capel first. And if you don't have a question and you just want to listen, just say no question. I'll move on to the next person. So I'll unmute for Capel.
No questions.
Perfect. Thanks. Next, I'll go over to Jamie. Jamie, I'm going to unmute you now.
Well, I just had the one question about how I was in here earlier tonight, I added a promo code or a code to enter for our coaches. But when I went to register my son as a test, it didn't show anywhere in the payment. So I'm wondering, do we have to activate that?
Justin, do you want to go directly into Jamie's account? She is
What
with
association is that?
Wynyard.
It's probably the very last one.
W-Y, Wynyard.
Oh, Wynyard. It's actually Quinyard. Okay. Hopping in. As a note, do you have a website? Because
No.
okay, yeah, they're asked. Peso was asking me if you have a website.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't.
Just
I
a
think I
Facebook page.
answered that.
Sometimes he always asks me anyway. Okay, so you had set up a promo code, and so you're just wondering, oh, so the promo code doesn't show up. You have to type in the promo code.
Yeah, but there was nowhere to type it in when I registered, like when I went in to register.
Okay, let's take a look here. So was that, and it was a participant promo code?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, going through, I'll choose McDavid, Eden's favorite hockey player.
That's enough.
From U5. So here's all the waivers as sent by Soccer. I sign it. Emergency contact. I'll go here, choose myself. Or parent guardian emergency contact, I should say. You can also additionally add a second in there. It's actually my real information, so. Okay, drop down. Sure. No. I'm awesome. And, okay. You're right.
Okay.
So, you turned it off.
Oh, okay. So I just had to
Yep.
turn it
Hide
on.
promo code for public.
Okay.
So just zoom in here, reload it. And there it is. So since I know what it is,
Okay. So
I'm
it
going
should
here,
work.
apply that, and you're going to see the $30 dissolve into the ether. Oh, that is free. Either way, whatever the promo code was.
Coach.
Okay.
So okay, $10
Thank
off.
you.
Okay. I'm just going to put Jesse back on mute. And then I'm going to go over to Jesse. All right, Jesse, I'll unmute you. And go ahead.
I'm okay, thanks.
Perfect. I believe you said you're okay. So I'm going to mute you back again. Let's see. We'll go over to Tanya. Tanya, I can send I got your message down here. Is there a fee to receiving payment through RAMP? So receiving them, if you are just, there's a fee if you use a merchant provider, which is for credit cards, but if you are just tracking payments, cash or any e-transfers, any checks that are dropped off, there is no fee for tracking. But if you do set up a merchant provider, the system does, there is either the 2% per transaction, and then there's a monthly fee for using their service as well. If you give them a call, though, you can talk to them about freezing your account when you are not using it, but I can send you all of that in more detailed information for the Paystone. I will unmute you, though, if you do have any questions directed to registration setup. So I'm just going to unmute you here for a sec. Go ahead. Oh, you're muted again. 1 second. What is happening?
Can you
There we
hear me
go.
now?
You betcha.
Yeah, I was just wondering about, I guess, if we don't want people to pay through this system, if that's an option.
Yeah, most definitely. You can still record your payment if just to reconcile. Like if you had your own POS system that won't be connected through the RAMP way, but if you have your own POS system, say in an office, or if you just accept e-transfers or just do cash or check, you can most definitely set it up so you receive your payments the way your association wants to have them received.
Okay, yeah. That was my question, I guess.
Perfect. All right. If you think of another one, we'll come back for another round as well.
Okay.
Just a second. All right, Sarah, I'm going to check and see if you have any. So go back. Go ahead.
I just have had a bunch of emails from people, and I've emailed you, Justin, about this, who are trying to set up their accounts. They set up an account, and then they go to sign in, and they get, it says something about a CAPTCHA error. And they're not able to sign in, and then they're trying to change their password, and so I'm not sure if that's, like, I've watched people do it, I've seen it myself, so it's not like they're entering the right password that they had created, so I'm not quite sure why that's going on.
Well, first on the CAPTCHA. So there is a CAPTCHA on here. And
Yeah.
you can, so usually with the CAPTCHA issue, it's like if I reload this page and I go and I click login before it's even done loading, that's something that robots do. So that makes you look like you're a robot. Actually, because I just logged in, it actually let me in. But well, the other thing is if you wait on this page for a while, you also fail the invisible CAPTCHA. So there is a CAPTCHA on the page, it's just invisible.
Okay.
So that's kind of the biggest thing. Now, on the changing of passwords, I guess I mean, all in all, there could be a bunch of reasons why that could be happening.
Okay.
We are changing it, though. I've made a ticket actually just last night for the changing of the CAPTCHA. Or sorry, not the CAPTCHA, so changing of the password resetting.
Okay.
Because most of all, it'll say, hey, when you put in a new password, it'll say you failed.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really say what you did wrong.
Yeah.
So I've made a ticket so that it's a little more intuitive. It'll say, hey, because it says what we required, but doesn't say how you failed. And like we just realized just now that an underscore didn't count as a special character. So somebody brought that to our attention yesterday, and we added the underscore as a special character.
Okay.
They also claimed that a $sign was not valid, but it was valid, so this shows that they had something else that was invalid. So I kind of gave them, I don't know if anybody was, who we're hosting mail for, is using the Smarter Mail system, but a Smarter Mail system, I'm kind of modeling it after their password creation. Just has a bunch of, everything's in red text, and the second that you comply with that requirement, it turns green, so you can see what you have failed on. Now, mind you, I'm not a programmer. So I kind of said, okay, well, that's my best case scenario. If not, when it fails, could you please let them know, what they failed at?
Okay,
But, we kind of looked at the data once, and we looked at it for a couple people. And so, yeah, they changed it in here, and the second you change your password, it makes you go re-log in, and then, yeah, they just type in the password incorrectly that second time. So
okay.
it's kind of a bunch of reasons it could be, but it's kind of what I'm.
Sarah, the CAPTCHA thing that I find, it occurs to me the most when I'm logging into multiple different accounts. So if someone says that that's happening a bunch, just tell them to give it a second and
Okay.
then to log in. So if I see that the CAPTCHA failed, if I kind of count 1, 2, 3, and then press login, it works. But if I'm going too fast for my computer to catch up to me, that's when I get that message a lot of the time.
You always have to wait till it loads. If it doesn't load, if it's not done loading, that CAPTCHA's not loaded, because the CAPTCHA's the last thing to load.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I'll
And
pass.
also, if you wait too long, then it
Yeah.
will fail as well, because that's also proves with your computer. But I get that CAPTCHA all the time because nothing looks like
Yeah.
a spammer than logging into 15 accounts in 5 minutes. So
Yeah, and we were having that the one evening. I just hosted an evening so people could pay in person if they wanted help setting up their accounts. So I think there was so many people trying to do it from their phones at the same time and stuff. So
yeah, phones are not the greatest at the CAPTCHA.
yeah. So yeah, I just had them use my laptop. So
That's good to know. Thanks, Sarah.
okay.
Appreciate that. Yep, I'll make a note of that. That's good to know. All right.
Okay,
I'm
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to go around over, I think we're back to the start. So I'm going to check in with Fort Capel one more time and see if they have any other questions. I'll unmute you right now.
No
Go.
questions this time.
Perfect. And then we're over to Jamie. I'll unmute you now.
No, I have nothing.
All right, thank you. Just so you know, once I do go through everybody, if there are no other questions, I'm going to show how the executive registration works, just to give you a little oversight real quick. It won't take very long, and how to do the membership renewal since that's coming up at the end of this week. But first, I'll unmute Jesse. Go ahead.
I'm okay.
Perfect. And Tanya, I'll unmute you. Go ahead.
I think I'm okay now. I'm a little nervous about setting up our page, but until I get in there, I guess I don't have any questions.
Perfect. Okay. I'll be here to help you out with that too if you have any afterwards. Get you here. And Sarah, I'll unmute you. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm fine. Yeah, sorry.
No problem. All right, so let's going through the group and there being no further questions. Justin, if you want to stop sharing, I'll take it over one more time and just go over the membership renewal.
Sure. Come on down. Where are you?
Perfect. Okay, so if everyone can see my screen now, Justin, can you see it?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to mute you as well. There we go. So the membership renewal, the executive registration, the directors and officers, you guys probably have seen a couple emails that kind of talk about how this new system is going to work now for 2020 onwards. With us having the new RAM system and playing around with the executive registration, and a lot of time what we see is a high turnover in a lot of our organizations. So I want to be able to know if we have a new contact comes in or have the individual who is the contact for the member organization able to update their own information without worrying that if they email us, we were not going to update our contact list or anything like that, and you miss out on important information. So what we've instituted this year is the executive registration. The executive registration also allows you to renew your membership, to apply if you have any conditions of membership change, or to apply for membership in general. Now, all of you already are our lovely members, so I don't need to show you half of those things. But here, the link that you click on for the Saskatchewan Soccer registration site is going to look just like this. It will say Saskatchewan Soccer on it. If you have registered a child, if you've registered yourself, if you are a coach who's registered, if you've registered as an executive in a different site somewhere, that login information that you've already created will be exactly what you put into here. If you have never done anything through RAMP yet, through any RAMP login site, you will create an account by clicking on Don't Have an Account, create one here, and then just enter the information required to create your account. So I, of course, have already done that, and I'm just going to log in here. Oh, look at that. CAPTCHA failed. Try it again. Perfect. So in here, the executive registration is where you're going to find your membership renewal. It's going to ask you to choose a season. Even if you click on continue, or if you have your directors and officers who you'd like to have covered by the D&O insurance register, even if they click on continue, it won't let them unless they choose that season. There is only one contact. It's because or one position, sorry. I have to assign a position to this executive registration. So it's just a basic member organization contact under the position title. I'm going to register myself. And here you're going to see executive registration is already it's mandatory, it's turned on, there's no dollar amount attached to it. If you are just a contact, if you are not on here to renew your membership, if you are simply on here to register as a director, that is the only thing you need to have checked off. All of these other things down here with dollar amounts are irrelevant to you. You can continue on to the next step and fill out your appropriate information that we need from the directors and officers, and then they're all done. If you are here to renew your membership for 2020, and you are a regular member, which all of you on this call are regular members because you all register players with Saskatchewan Soccer. Our associate members are our universities and our referee associations. So everyone that has players is a regular member. You just check off that box. Click on continue. Now, the police record check is not required, but if you would like to upload it to show us that you have it, please feel free to do so. When you renew your membership, for some of you who have done this in the past, you may recall that you will submit to us your previous AGM minutes, any financials you've had from the previous fiscal year, and any bylaws or amendments to existing bylaws that you've had. What RAMP allows you to do is simply upload those while you're registering, so you don't have to send me an email if you don't want to. You still can send them to me off of this registration by hard copy, dropping them off in the office, putting them into the mail, or emailing or faxing them to me. This is just another avenue for you to submit them through the registration. So if you don't and you click on continue, it's not going to halt you. We'll have our waivers here. You'll need to put something in the signature box. I'm going to say that I'm not under 18. And here with our SASPort regulations, any individual that does register with us, we collect the data for expanded voluntary self-identification. I have nothing to self-identify with, so I can just leave it as is. I do not need to select this box. My organization name, so who am I representing? Let's go with, who's on the call? Let's go with Humboldt. My position, I am the president. Now here, this is where it's going to ask you if you're the primary or secondary contact. We need 2 primaries from each organization, because if one primary is not available and something important needs to go out, we are assured that there's 2 individuals that are being contacted. Your secondaries would be all of your directors and officers that register, any people that don't want to be on every single communication that we send out. If there are secondaries that do want to be in on communication, they can simply select what kind of communication they'd like to receive on the bottom here. So I'm going to register as a secondary contact. And I would like to receive information on governance. Now, if I'm a primary contact, I don't need to specify this. You're already included in all the information that we send out. And here I can provide when my next month of the AGM is. I can go April 2020. Continue to the next step, and you're almost done. So it's going to just show me what it looks like, what I submitted. I got my executive registration, which means I'm now covered in directors and officers insurance. I put through the regular membership renewal. It tells me how much that was. I have an MO, what did I sign off on, and how I'm going to pay. We accept cash or check or credit card. If you do credit card, you can do it through the system as is. If you're doing cash or check, just select so and we'll apply payment and send you a receipt when we receive it either in office or in the mail. And that is how you renew your membership. That is how you, now what the extra steps that we went through was for membership renewal. There's not quite as many when you go to just as an executive registration, but that's how you essentially finish your membership renewal. And then, like I said, there's many different avenues that you can take to submit your documents or your payment. But yeah, that's how the new system's going to work. And if anyone has any questions, I can unmute you all. If not, that will be all I have for this moment. So I'm going to unmute you guys for about, we got 3 minutes left here to see if there's any questions regarding the membership renewal. Everybody's open. Oh, just done. Okay. Well, then with that, I'll take this off. No questions are required. I'll mute everyone back on again. Perfect. I'd like to thank all of you for coming in, taking your time to learn this new system. I do know with change, sometimes it can be not the easiest thing, but this is the system that we're going to be sticking with for long term as they're up with the times and, in my opinion, much, much more convenient and available than GoalLine was. So good luck with your registrations this outdoor season. Please feel free to contact me. If you have any information for or want to contact Justin, I will unmute him for just a second and he will make sure he gives you the email in case I say any letter wrong. And for that, I will leave it to him and then say goodnight to you and end all the meetings. Justin, go ahead if you want to just say your email address. If you have any questions for you. Unmute. Go ahead.
Again, so at any time, feel free to email us at support@rampinteractive.com. So SUPPORT at Ramp Interactive, RAMP Interactive.com. You can always also call into the office where we have office hours 7 days a week. Well, now that we share a time zone, we're there. We should be in the office 7 to 7 most days, and we would love to chat. Our phone number is 1-866-607-7267. And otherwise, great talking to you all tonight.
Perfect. Thank you, Justin. Everybody, have a good night. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out. Bye, everybody.